Good morning. Man, you gotta love the breeze. Man, we got a good breeze here. Nobody's idling near me. Gotta love it. I've already finished my coffee. I finished this whole thing just sitting here talking to Eric. So we'll see if anybody comes in here. We got a thumbs up, but nobody showing up. Working a Saturday, not for too long though. As soon as they get empty, we're out of here. We're going home. If I get home in time, I'll be going to a gun show. Wife and I are going to go check out some stuff. So yeah, so it's all good. It's all good. Let's get you guys on the screen here, and let's talk about a couple of things. Now, this will probably count as my weekend live because I think Pale Rider was going to go live tonight instead of Friday. And it's going like 90 miles an hour. And so, anyways, let's do some shout outs. We got Daniel Adami, Pale Rider TV, Nick Brashear, Scott, good morning, Big Rich, more than a few days ago. Red Pepper, Juan Avalos, TJ Jones. So, Big Rich, man, how you doing? It is Red Pepper, I hope you're doing well. Scott, I was going to call you. Are you home yet? Or are you parked yet? Anyways, probably can't go live tonight either. Oh, dang, Pale Rider. I probably won't be live tonight either. I think that's yeah, I'll be busy. I'll be at home. But I got a load leaving out Tuesday. I got to take care of some business stuff on Monday. Unless my little shorty load that I like doing pops up on Monday, which I haven't checked the app yet for that. But if it pops up, cool. If not, I'd leave out Tuesday. Now, what's interesting is, let's talk trucking for a minute. Rates are up, volume's up, truck stops are reflecting that. At some point between now and July 4th, well, at this point, it's name or price, pretty much. I mean, not like 2018 levels, but enough that you can budge them $400 or $500 on certain loads. There's crazy rates coming out of Florida, which is interesting. That's not watermelon. And it's going to be like this until the end of next week, and then it'll stop. That's traditionally what happens in July, is that there's this big rush up to the 4th, and then the week after the 4th is still kind of good, but then after that it just drops until about mid-August, late August. Traditionally for the last 2 years, that's how it's been. So if you're at home, you might want to get out there and get some money, because I don't think it's going to last long. So let's see. Screaming Demon, what's up? Red Pepper says, thank you for asking. I'm doing fine. Fat Pat, what load? Did you get that AC issue fixed yet? Daniel Adami, it fixed itself. That's the best kind of truck repair you can have. I don't know if it's a switch going out or if it's a pressure sensor, but it just started working. So we're good there. But I appreciate you asking. Business are starting to open, so everyone's looking to get the stuff they need to sell, manufacture parts, etc. So rates have to compensate for that. Absolutely, Screaming Demon. When volume's up, it's when you can pretty much name your price. And I know that in St. Louis, a couple of days ago, there were 700 loads within a 50-mile radius, not a 100-mile radius, but a 50-mile radius. And I got 1,200 for 400 miles, plus the detention I'm waiting on. So ex-wife is already excited about the rates going up. She already raided my bank account. I've never seen her so happy. um, and so it's time to get at it. I had a really good talk with a friend of mine yesterday about cash flow, and and sitting at home worried that rates aren't supporting a truck breakdown, I think can work against you. I saw that happen all the time when I was at Landstar. You know, when rates were down, people were like, well, you know, I'm not running because, you know, what if I have a huge breakdown? Well, the breakdown's going to happen inevitably, so you might as well have it break down when rates are bad and get it repaired then, but still have cash flow, but still work to get that cash flow going in. You know, I know people that have bought brand new trucks that have very, very low payments because they worked their butts off, kept moving regardless of what the rates were doing. So, I mean, it's you know, it's something that I've had to learn the hard way myself. It's human nature, I guess. All right, Eric. Just to let you know, it's going to be raining today in Missouri. I think the rates will remain steady for the rest of the summer. Big rig for you, yes. The spot market traditionally goes down a little bit in July. Now, obviously, we're having a non-traditional year, and a lot of stuff that starts back up in September, August, September. I don't know. A lot of stuff ain't going to happen. So, I mean, I think that, I don't know. I think that we're in for. I mean, 2020 is still going to be delivering the same crap it's been delivering for the rest of the year. You're in Missouri right now. Where are you at, Daniel Adami? Are you on 44? It's a double-edged sword. You never know when you're going to break down and what the cost to get back rolling will be. You just have to hope you have enough bank to cover it, but always sock some away. Demon, and here's what I've noticed, okay? And I've said this over and over. If you don't have some kind of line of credit or a situation like a Schneider, or where Pale Rider's at, if something goes over your escrow that you've got saved back, then they will cover it. You just owe the carrier, right? If you don't have something like that in place, I can see why a person could be worried about a breakdown. Because if you've only got, here's the thing, if you only got $5,000 in the bank, okay, so if I sit at home, it'll deplete that less. Because if I roll and I have a $4,000 repair, now I've got no money in reserve, you know, or very little money in reserve. And that's why I tell people you need a line of credit to be able to keep rolling, because sometimes that's the only thing that can float your business. Been there, done that, you know. And some money coming in is better than no money coming in. So I think a lot of people that are afraid to move the truck because they're afraid of a repair, which I've been that guy. It's because they don't want to deplete their resources, which I get that, but if that resource is all they had. In other words, some people have like 10,000 or 15,000 in the bank plus a line of credit, and other people just have that 10 to 15,000 in the bank, and that's all they got. So if they're not running, they pay their house bills and stuff with that. But if they are running and they have a $20,000 repair, which is possible, then I could see the conundrum. You should put cornrows in that beard. Snort gave me a great idea for a show. Man, Eric, don't blame anything on me, man. Don't blame it all on me. Eric Aquara, what's up? Grafton. More Steve Watkins. You were on 44 yesterday. Daniel, I saw you last week. You were parked there in Cuba. I didn't have time to stop and bang on your door and scare the crap out of you. But other than that, man, things are going okay. I had a really good talk with some people yesterday, and you always need people to motivate you, people to kind of talk you through some things, and surround yourself with good mentors. And I think that's key to success. You want the kind of people that you can call. Like one of our contractors called me at midnight the other night, needing some questions, and I was happy to help him out. You kind of need people that you can rely on for that kind of thing. I think that kind of creates a good support system, and the more we can support each other, the better off we can all be. So federal and state government needs to stop handing out money so people have a need to get back to work. I agree, Red Pepper. I think that at one point it looked like capacity wasn't like dropping off like we thought it was. A lot of people were able to retain their business because of the triple P loans or the SB loans or whatever. Or the payment deferments, But I think if there's another wave of COVID that does another shutdown, then I don't know if there's going to be any more money being handed out. So it's, I don't know. I really don't want to dwell on that today. I just kind of want to, we'll talk truck and stuff. We can talk whatever, and this COVID thing and the civil unrest thing, we could beat that to death. And I have my theories, and I've talked to people privately about that. There's a lot of things that don't make sense, but then once you kind of look at the big picture, now it does. And people are being manipulated, and that's just flat out what it is. On both sides of the coin. So loads were there. It's just the money was brutal for a lot of them. Right. I mean, when I talked to one of my brokers, he went from 100 loads a day to 20 loads a day, that kind of thing. And now they've got 200 loads all of a sudden that need to move. So we're actually at a point where I have brokers calling me now, which is a good place to be. So we're back to booking ahead, and we're back to making good money booking ahead. And if you were running for a really low rate, the brokers are thinking that, here's a perfect example. So there's a load that I do to Ohio almost every time I leave the house. And pretty much stays the same, except for here lately, a new broker got it versus the broker I was using. And I called that broker to establish a relationship. Here's what I did. I said, hey, I do these all the time. I know the customers. I know I can do this. I can do this. It's the chupacabra place. I said, I'll do it for X amount. Okay, awesome. So couple of days later, a guy calls me again. He goes, "Hey man, you want to do another one? You did good service. You did the 4 kites thing, and you gave us check calls, and there's no drama with you, that kind of thing." So yeah, sure. But this one needs a tank endorsement. Okay, well that's going to cost you another $100. Okay, yeah, we can do that. A week later, "Hey man, I've got another one of those. When are you going to be in Springfield next?" I said, "Well, I'll be, but you know what? Volume's really good right now, so if we can come up a little bit on the price, that'd be great." And Try and OD kind of talk about this. And so there's like a $300 spread alone just by providing good service and establishing myself with this broker. So now, if I'm somebody that he can rely on, that gives him some leverage to keep this customer, which gives me leverage to I have to look for anything every time I have to get out of the house. So it's a two-way street, and that's how you build this business. And sometimes the loads are light, sometimes they're heavy, but I know I can spend the night at the customer, and that allows me a lot of leverage, and it's a great one-day rate, regardless of the low end or the high end. Am I going to keep tacking on and price myself out of that load? No. But at the price that we're at now, I'll probably keep it and just keep it there, knowing that I could probably get a little bit more out of Springfield. But now this guy's calling me. I'm not calling him. He's calling me. The amount of damage the last shutdown caused, there will not be another nationwide shutdown. bigrigceo, a friend of mine, told me that somebody from the Trump administration said that they will not allow a nationwide shutdown. That's how I got the runs now. Scott is very successful. He's become one of my good mentors in this scenario, because while everybody was freaking out and wanting broker transparency and going to Washington D.C. about the gripe about the brokers, I was making steps to understand their side of the business, and that's where I stumbled upon Eric of Truck and OD podcast, and establishing those relationships. If you don't want to be on the DAT board or the 123 load board calling 20 brokers a day every time you need a load, you don't want to deal with that, then you have to create steps to keep from doing that. If you want some consistency, the most successful people out here that I know are not doing 20 phone calls a day. They're getting emails and phone calls before they even have to look at a load board. The most money I've made out here was I was barely on any load board. And that because I kept moving, and I would adjust the rates to what I needed, and I was still wheeling and dealing. I was still choosing where I was going. I wasn't being dispatched or anything, but at the same time, I went to one broker first, and they had a strong freight base at that time. And so if I ran into a point where they didn't, I went to another broker that did. So between the same 3 brokers, I was doing really good. So don't forget your chores before you go home. Absolutely, Scott. I agree. And Scott says I use that maybe once a month. And that's to me, I mean think about Schneider, okay? Schneider's a self-dispatch system. It's basically like if you're in spot market using primarily Convoy or Uber, okay? It's a click and go system. And because of Schneider's freight base, that creates your consistency. That's why guys have $4,000 a month truck notes over there are making it. And bigrigceo was live yesterday, and he mentioned that he was $1.80 all miles. That's to the truck. That's after Schneider's cut. But it's the consistency that makes them successful over there at Schneider. It's not the rate per mile, it's the consistency of freight. You know, the 24-hour drop and hook, strong customer base. And so there are brokerages that have that. You know, people make fun of the big brokerages like TQL, CH Robinson, Convoy, and Uber, but if you can find the agents in the areas that, like CH Robinson's really strong in the Kansas City area, CH Robinson's really strong in the Ohio area. You know, I know people that have relationships with agents over at TQL, and they become TQL's number one, you know, high performing carriers, and they're getting excellent rates as well. They don't fight for their detention. That's the other thing. When you have a relationship with the broker, you're not fighting for detention. You're not fighting over the small detail. You know, it makes it so much easier and stress free. And so if you take a situation like Schneider, you know, you Schneider owned operators are primarily using one broker, you know, and that's Schneider, right? And so you create consistency, and because of your trailer pool, you're able to make that work. Well, in the live unload world that I live in now, that's harder to do, obviously, but you can still create that kind of consistency. The times that I was successful at Landstar is because I hooked up with an agent that had direct freight and had it on a steady basis. It wasn't until the cutthroat model that Landstar has that started to affect my freight, that I started to have some issues over there. The Hool, what's up? I know nothing about today's trucking, says Red Pepper. Well, you're not missing anything. 123 low board seems nice. Jeffrey even got my van a load, right? 123 low board is a great tool and resource for people new to the spot market, or if you want to do mock loads, like let's say you're thinking about coming out to the spot market, get the free version of 123, the trial, and do mock runs. You know, see if you can survive off those rates. See if you can, you know, you can even call these brokers and now some might ask you for an MC number, but you can kind of create a situation, you know, where you do a mock-up and see how, you know, how it would be, you know. Pat is using Truck Stop. I've never used Truck Stop. I'm primarily DAT and 123. Even then 123 is kind of limited, so. Yukon is in the house. But and now, since rates, and that's the other thing you guys will notice, when rates get sky high, brokers will make it a point to call you to try to nip that in the bud. They will make it a point to sit there and like, well, I know this guy has done this for $1.80 a mile and everybody's wanting $2.50. So let's call this guy first. Let's see if he's, you know, gonna ream us on the rate like everybody else is. And so there's a fine line. And now when rates come up really high and brokers are having trouble finding trucks, this is the time that you negotiate direct customers, or a steady, like, hey, you know, broker has 3 of these a week, and if you can make a round trip out of it, you know, just say, well, just give them all to me, you know. So, used dumpster pump. I think you're making that up, Yukon. Yukon, you know, back in the day when Yukon was at Travel Loco, he had some good videos on the DAP board. He really did. So, back in his spot market days. And Yukon also had experience with Schneider, too. Oh, jeez. The whole... But, anyways, anything else you guys want to talk about? If not, we'll keep this kind of short. Did you guys watch James Best last night, by the way? He has got the green screen thing. I'm behind the times. I don't have a green screen thing. I don't have StreamYard. I don't have green screen. Hell, I barely get decent audio on the phone with my windows open. These guys are gonna. I mean, they already have. I mean, James Best's channel is gonna surpass mine pretty soon, and Pill Rider's already surpassed mine. Lenny, thank you very much. Thank you for the. Um, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate that. Got little. What are those hippos? Box. Which gun are you gonna get? Well, who knows? Who knows, Scott? It's to the fact that there's a gun show in town that we're gonna go to, so. But now I drive fire trucks to the Dunkin' drive-thru. Good old fire trucks. But anyways, guys, just a quick Saturday morning live feed. I guess Pill Rider may not be live tonight, so we'll see. So one of you YouTubers go live tonight, entertain the masses, and when is the gun show? This weekend. So if you're in Springfield, some bird pooped on your phone. But call me, so you guys take it easy.